Good morning. Today we're diving into a major story shaking the highest levels of government, the indictment of John Bolton. You may know Bolton as a longtime foreign policy hawk, former national security advisor to President Trump, and a fixture in Washington's power circles. On October 17, 2025, Bolton surrendered to federal authorities after being indicted by a grand jury. The charges? Mishandling classified information, serious allegations under the Espionage Act. This isn't about a paperwork mistake. Prosecutors allege a pattern of behavior that put national secrets at risk. The documents in question could reveal U.S. intelligence methods and plans, information the government fiercely protects. Bolton, known for his tough stance on security, now finds himself accused of compromising it. The case is a stunning twist for someone with decades of public service and a reputation for protecting American interests. It also reopens questions about the rules for handling classified information at the highest levels of power. The indictment is deeply intertwined with politics, especially given Bolton's contentious split with President Trump. This case isn't just legal, it's political, and it's already sending shockwaves through Washington. As the story unfolds, it will test the boundaries of law, loyalty, and the handling of America's most sensitive secrets. For now, Bolton stands at the center of a legal and political storm. The nation is watching closely. Early that October morning, John Bolton arrived at the federal courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland. No handcuffs, but plenty of cameras. He surrendered voluntarily, flanked by his legal team, marking the start of a high-stakes legal battle. Inside, the atmosphere was tense as Bolton stood before the judge to hear the charges. 18 counts, all tied to classified information. The Espionage Act looms large, with the possibility of a lengthy prison sentence. This first hearing was procedural, no arguments, just formalities like fingerprinting and bail. For a man who once advised the president on war and peace, it was a dramatic reversal of fortune. The indictment, handed down just a day earlier, outlines a pattern prosecutors say endangered national security. After the brief hearing, Bolton was released on his own recognizance. No bail, but a promise to return. He left the courthouse in silence, his lawyer addressing the press instead. The image of a former national security advisor as a criminal defendant underscored the gravity of the moment. Judge Theodore Chuang, an Obama appointee, will preside as the case moves forward. The legal process is now officially underway. The stakes couldn't be higher. What exactly is Bolton accused of? The indictment breaks down into two main allegations. First, transmission of national defense information. Prosecutors say Bolton knowingly sent classified material to unauthorized individuals, 8 counts under the Espionage Act. Second, unlawful retention. 10 counts accuse him of keeping classified documents at his home after leaving office. Officials with security clearances must return all classified materials when they leave. Prosecutors say Bolton didn't. The documents allegedly included intelligence on potential attacks, foreign adversaries, and secret sources, information that, if leaked, could be devastating. The Espionage Act is strict. Prosecutors don't have to prove intent to harm, just that Bolton knew the material was classified and mishandled it. The government claims his actions put national security at risk. Bolton's case is now a high-stakes test of how these laws apply to top officials. The Department of Justice believes it has strong evidence of knowing violations. The legal confrontation is set. The outcome could reshape how classified information is handled at the highest levels. The nation is watching. The indictment details how Bolton allegedly mishandled secrets. Prosecutors say he used personal email and messaging apps to send top-secret documents to unnamed individuals, major violations of security protocols. These unsecure channels are vulnerable to foreign hacking, a key point in the government's case. Bolton reportedly kept detailed personal diaries, transcribing classified notes from secure meetings onto his home computer. Prosecutors allege he shared excerpts from these digital diaries, turning personal record-keeping into illegal dissemination. The investigation began in 2022, after intelligence officials raised concerns. One striking claim: Bolton allegedly shared classified information with family members via group chat, none of whom had security clearances. The indictment also accuses him of storing classified materials, including handwritten notes and digital diaries, at his private residence. His home was not an approved secure facility, making this a clear violation. These actions form the basis for both the transmission and retention charges. The government says this pattern put national secrets at risk. Bolton now faces the consequences. Bolton isn't just denying the charges, he's calling them a political hit job. He claims the indictment is retribution from President Trump, a continuation of their public feud. Bolton argues this is about punishing a critic, not protecting national security. He points to Trump's previous attempts to block his tell-all book, The Room Where It Happened, as evidence of a vendetta. Bolton's defense shifts the focus from legal details to political motivations, framing himself as the latest target in a weaponized Justice Department. He's betting that the public, and a jury, will see this as a personal score settling, not a legitimate prosecution. President Trump has publicly called Bolton a bad guy, fueling the narrative of animosity. Bolton's legal team is using this feud to bolster claims of political motivation. The courtroom is now a political arena, with the central question, is this about justice or payback? Bolton's strategy is clear: turn the trial into a referendum on political abuse of power. The stakes go far beyond one man. Bolton's legal team isn't just arguing politics, they're challenging the facts. His attorney, Abby Lowell, says the government investigated these diaries years ago and found no reason to charge. The defense claims the diaries are personal reflections, not classified documents. They argue the FBI knew about them as early as 2021, and nothing has changed since. If the information wasn't classified, the case could collapse. The defense will push for a document-by-document review, forcing prosecutors to prove every detail. They also point to the investigation's origins. It began after Bolton's emails were hacked by Iran, suggesting the real breach was the hack, not Bolton's actions. The defense narrative: this is an old issue, resurrected for political reasons. Bolton's lawyers will fight on both public and legal fronts, challenging the legitimacy of the indictment at every turn. The courtroom battle will be as much about facts as about motives. The outcome could hinge on the classification of a single diary entry. Bolton's case isn't happening in isolation. It's part of a broader political storm. He's the third major Trump critic recently indicted, after James Comey and Letitia James. Critics say this looks like a pattern, the administration targeting its adversaries through the courts. The timing is explosive, amid a government shutdown, diplomatic drama, and nationwide protests against the Trump administration. Bolton's indictment adds fuel to an already volatile atmosphere. Supporters point to the other cases as evidence of a weaponized Justice Department. The perception: the legal system is being used as a political tool, not an impartial arbiter. This raises fundamental questions about the rule of law and the separation of powers. The principle that no one is above the law is at stake, but so is the need for fair, unbiased justice. The outcome of Bolton's case will be seen as a test of the system's independence. The nation's trust in its institutions hangs in the balance. With the first court appearance over, Bolton's legal journey is just beginning. Next comes discovery. Prosecutors must share their evidence, including classified documents, with the defense. Bolton's lawyers will look for weaknesses, file motions to dismiss, and challenge the admissibility of evidence. A key battle: how to handle classified material in court without exposing secrets, governed by the Classified Information Procedures Act. If the case isn't dismissed, it heads to trial, a major public event with global attention. Prosecutors will try to prove Bolton knowingly mishandled secrets. The defense will argue innocence and political motivation. Most federal cases end in plea deals, but Bolton's defiant stance makes that unlikely, at least for now. As the process drags on, a deal could still emerge. For now, Bolton remains free, but faces the full weight of the federal government. The legal battle will define his legacy. The world is watching. The Bolton case is about more than one man. It's about the rules that protect America's secrets. The government's duty is to safeguard information that, if leaked, could endanger lives and national security. This case tests whether those rules apply equally to the powerful. It also raises tough questions about the balance between national security and the public's right to know. Bolton says his book was vital for transparency. The government says he crossed a dangerous line. The case will fuel debate over whistleblowing, leaks, and the limits of free speech for officials. Even more, it challenges the integrity of the justice system itself. If prosecutions are seen as political, trust in our institutions erodes. Whether you see Bolton as a victim or a violator, the case forces us to confront the health of our democracy. The outcome will test the legal system, the political system, and the public's ability to judge the facts. The message will echo far beyond Bolton's fate. That's why this case matters to us all.